All right, guys, so we are loaded up and we are in the hills of Tennessee, headed back to Lexington. We've got our 2 horses loaded, and so as we're headed back, we're just going to kind of run you guys through why we picked the horses we did. They had about 30 horses available for the EMM pickup, and we got there at 6:30. Pickup was going to start at 7. We left at 3 a.m. and we were still 8th, 9th, and 10th on the list to get picked up. So that was, we thought we were going to be pretty early, but apparently the people that got 1st and 2nd were there at 2 a.m. So nonetheless, congratulations to them, and I still think we got some really solid picks. 4597 is the beige filly in this other pin over here.
It's nice.
Yeah, she looks pretty nice.
And a white?
3708.
Yeah, I like
Sorry. I didn't even notice.
The horse I got, tag number was 4597. She's a 4-year-old mare from Fish Creek, Nevada, and she probably is flirting with that 15 hands line. The one thing, she's a bay mare, got a little white on her face, and I'd say the main thing that I really liked about her, I will be honest, the picking part was I thought it was a little bit stressful because it was hard to see tag numbers. They were a little bit muddy and all that stuff. So it was one of those things where we kind of just had to go, at least like Hannah and I discussed, we kind of just went with our gut on this deal, and we we're just like looking at horses, and it was really easy to pick the horses we didn't want. Whether that was body condition, conformation, or attitude, it was pretty easy to start eliminating horses like, nope, we're not doing that. But this particular mare, she went through her little herd there, and she had her head real low, and when everything was pretty quiet, she would just stand in that herd with her head super low, and she was pawing like she wanted to lay down, and she never quite got to the point where she could lay down. There was quite a few horses in the pen, but she just seemed like she was looking for that place to rest and to be able to hang out. And when to take and go through this competition, we're gonna have to bring the energy up and get them comfortable with the energy coming up, as well as letting that energy drop and letting them come back to a rest. And the fact that that mare, like, this was honestly the primary thing, other than the way that her body type was, that I saw in that mare, was that she just really wanted to rest. And when she got stirred up, she was real busy with her feet, but she was, then you could, what I felt was she was looking for that place to come back. So that was honestly the biggest reason I picked this mare. And she was I would say my 2nd pick out of all the horses, and being 8th and 9th or 9th and 10th on the list like we were, I was pretty happy that I actually got that one, because I was a little concerned that all the horses that I had written down would be picked before I could actually get one picked, and then I would just have to shoot from the hip. But we got 4597, and we'll see what the next 100 days looks like.
Yeah, and so I had a 6-year-old chestnut mare. She's from the Circle B HMA, and she's also like just under 15 hands. I really liked her just because she was like a little bit thicker, so if she sheds a couple pounds, it won't, harm her body condition score at all. And she also just had a really good mindset, super kind eye, and just watching her interact in the pen, she was always the one that would kind of like bring the energy down first and just like center herself and kind of attract the horses to do that, and it was just pretty calm and like yawning, licking and chewing and just hanging out. And I think she'll be a really solid first makeover horse for me, since I've never done this before, so it'd be a good easy first year.
So I was kind of curious, have you set like any benchmark goals for like maybe the first week or the first 2 weeks, or have you thought about anything like that?
A little bit, but mostly I just want to see the horse first and see where she's going and judge it on that. Like, my expectation is that she's going to be a little easier just from watching her. So definitely want to like already be working on like stuff with the first ride, first week, because that's obviously on everybody's mind, because I don't want to show just in a halter class, so. But yeah, just taking it at her, on her level and at her time. So.
Well, I'll throw this out there. So my buddy Justin's doing the Appalachian Trainer face-off, and he got this horse that was a surrender case. And you guys should go check out his videos for sure. We'll tag his bio or tag his channel on this. But he got a horse that he thought was going to be pretty easy. And he kept sending me pictures of him saying, isn't he so cute? He's this little quarter horse that could be registered. I went and helped him out the first day. Maybe we'll get some permission to throw a little clip in here about how that first day went, because my hashtag to Justin became "Isn't he so cute?" because little Scotty wasn't so cute when he showed us really what he had in the tank. And so yeah, we'll definitely get to find out what these horses are like. I mean, we have some ideas of watching them in the pens, but we picked them based on what we could see, because that's all we have to go off of. But at the end of the day, we've all been surprised, and these first couple of weeks are going to be interesting because it's a massive makeover for these horses. And maybe the "Isn't they so cute" hashtag is going to continue on, because I feel like we got two good looking horses, but we'll see what they got for us.
Might end up sticking my foot in my mouth if I keep talking.
Yeah.
The Burl Measles Memorial Bridge.
We didn't quite make it.
That's too many M's and B's.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Burl Measles Memorial Bridge.
That's just it.
It's a little much, isn't it? Competition's the 3rd week of October.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
And this is gonna be the most amount of time that I've definitely had. It's gonna be a pretty fair bit of time. So we picked these horses up on the very first day that we could. So it's June 1st, and today was the very first day that we could pick them up. We rolled out of there about 9:45, and we could pick them up at 7. So, you know, I might have left 2 hours and 45 minutes on the table.
Just under 140 days.
It's under 140.
Just under. Yeah.
Oh. So the first makeover I did was 107 days.
Really?
And the second one I did was 97 days. So we got just under 140.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time difference.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people go, oh, there's a big difference in the numbers, but like it's another month. But when you add a month into a competition that's usually only 3 months, that's a massive amount of time.
Yeah. It's almost a month and a half extra, because on 30 days in a month,
yeah.
90.
Yeah, but you got 100. I was at 110 to then, and it's about a month. But you go 97 to then, like you're almost at 6 weeks.
Yeah.
It's a lot of time.
Makes me a little more confident.
We'll get, basically, I'll have, I don't know, 12, 16 hours.
Yeah.
About 16 hours. You'll have 36. Then they'll both get a break. But because we picked them up today, we'll still be back at it on Monday, and that was before we could have ever picked up the next pickup.
Mm-hmm.
So like, even if we get just a little bit done,
yeah,
we've still got them there on Monday,
yeah,
and we've got a whole week ahead of the next pickup.
Mm-hmm.
And
what are you thinking your mindset should be going into like 18 hours of training versus like
good
36?
question. Yeah. So with just having, 16 hours or so, I'm really thinking, like, my mindset goes, get as much done as we can.
Right.
Like, for me, I wouldn't approach it like reserved, because these horses can surprise us.
Mm-hmm.
They could come right around.
Yep.
I haven't had a horse that would do this, but I've seen people that have had their horses, and within that amount of time, they're on them.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, of course, we got to sleep amidst some point of that 12 or 16 hours. It's not like we have 12 or 16 hours worth of work time with them. But I'm just going to approach it just like I normally would, as far as like just trying to get some focus, trying to get them a little more relaxed with us being around them, kind of getting their feet and their mind kind of just really building their trust is like really it. And then I'll get as much done as I can.
Yeah.
Like some horses we might. That's the thing. I take all my stuff to the round pen.
Mm-hmm.
At first go, I'm like, I'm gonna have everything, because I just don't know what this horse is gonna present. But at the end of the day, if I'm looking at what I'm trying to accomplish, I'm not really gonna count this first week as my first week, because I'm gonna have a few hours between today and tomorrow morning, and then the horse is gonna be resting for the next 6 days. So I'm probably, if I'm looking at starting next week with that horse, as kind of that first week, I don't say I want to be on that horse in the first 3 days or in the first week, but I probably would say I'd like to have at least 2 to 3 rides on the horse within the first 2 weeks. is probably what I'm thinking. If I can go, and it doesn't matter if that they don't come till the end of the second week. What I'm really thinking is that I'd like to get that horse mentally prepared and also have the experiences with having their feet handled, having had a belly rope on them, having the saddle on, going through all the processes that we'll have to go through to look to be having ridden this horse 2 to 3 times in the first 2 weeks. I'd love to get that done in the first week if I can. And it's going to come down to the amount of time I can spend with the horse as well as how fast the horse can progress. And so there's a lot that's going to go into it as far as nutrition and making sure these horses have the, all the care that they need. We got to get their feet done, and we've got to assess them. We haven't really hardly seen these horses other than kind of at a distance in a pen with 10 other horses kind of swirling around them. So we got to get up there, and we don't know. I mean, they look sound. They look sound, so that's always good, and we got to take a deeper look at them. But if I'm looking at those first 2 weeks from there, then I'm trying to put a first few rides on that horse, and then from there it's kind of game on, integrating and cross training them so they're getting prepared for all the events necessary, as well as the freestyle for the finals. So making sure that we're getting our horses prepared, even just for the obstacles that we might be using in those. That's something I'm already putting in front of my head, because it's our responsibility to make sure these horses are super solid with what we've got in mind.